Dystopian literature versus utopian literature.
Plan or ideal system of government in which a perfect and fair society is conceived, where everything runs without conflict and in harmony. In the 16th century, Thomas More coined the word Utopia in a work of the same title, in which he imagined an unknown island on which the ideal organization of society would take place. Ideal, attractive, and improved project which are planned generally for the community that is very unlikely to happen or at the time of its formulation is unfeasible. Under the form of intimate aspiration, dream, or utopia, man, by the simple fact of being a man, aspires to his full happiness. In short, a utopia is the representation of an idea or society in its perfect, ideal, and flawless form, but whose realization is far from reality due to its complexity or the impossibility of putting it into practice due to various factors.
Dystopia literature. Imaginary society under a totalitarian power or a certain ideology, according to the conception of a certain author, which would be the opposite of utopia. For example, a nation where rigorous state control is exercised to guarantee an organized, happy, and conforming society could lead to a totalitarian regime, which represses the individual and curtails his freedoms based on a supposed general well-being. Types of dystopia. Technological scientific dystopias. In this dystopia, society is controlled by technological advances, such as video surveillance systems, robots, artificial intelligence, etc. Dystopian adventures. These are adventures that take place in a dystopian setting.
Authors of Dystopia. George Orwell. His novel 1984 was for many years the base for dystopian novels. In these novels, he introduced the idea of political oppression, psychological suppression, constant monitoring, and Curse Big Brother. All of these ideas occur in the most popular dystopian novels. Wells. He revolutionized the genre from the very first book to the Hill's last. Not only that, but that brought the genre to the mainstream. Famous works: The Time Machine, The Invisible Man, The Island of Dr. Moreau, The War of the Worlds, etc. Authors Utopia. Sir Francis Bacon. New Atlantis, although he never completed it. This utopian novel by one of the great philosophers of the Elizabethan and Jacobean era is well worth reading. It was published posthumously in 1627 and outlines a perfect society. Sir Thomas More Utopia, this 1516 work in the book That Game, Utopia from the green meaning no place, took with a pun on Utop's good place, implying that such ideal society is too good to be true.
Plots of dystopia. There are several plots. Now I'm going to tell you several of them. Environmental disasters, government control, and technology control. These are some of the plots that the dystopia literature have. Plots of utopia is a style of fiction that takes place in an idealized world. This doesn't mean that utopian works are free of conflict.
Settings of Utopia. The settings in Utopia literary are imaginary, since Utopia fiction is almost impossible to realize. Utopian film adaptation. Now, one of the utopian literature movies is Back to the Future, in which a teenager named Marty McFly is friend with Doc, a scientific who has built a time machine. As the two test the artifact, a fortune's mistake sends Marty back to 1915, the year his parents were in high school and had not yet met. After providing their first meeting, Marty must get them to meet and fall in love. Otherwise, their existence will not be possible. Dystopia settings. Dystopia, contrary by definition to utopia, that is, what is longed for but distant, represent a close understandable that proves futureful reality, a near probable and chaotic future. In some words, which present futuristic scenarios where the world has become hostile and terrible. In the cinematic, this novel have had several films adaptations and are mainly linked to fiction. Dystopian film adaptation. One of the dystopian literature movies is I Am a Legend, in which it is the year 2012 and Robert Neville is a very intelligent scientific who, however, has not been able to prevent the spread of an incredible virus created by humans. Neville, inexplicably immune to contagion, is the last human survivor of the New York City.